welcome back to this week's Premier Racing League Week in Review. I'm Cameron Arch, driver number 3.
Dakota Nichols, driver of the 24.
James Jackson, driver of the number 29.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting week
Yeah.
here, boy.
Yep, had the second race of the round of 8 here at Watkins Glen. Pretty interesting race, I think. I think there was one driver that didn't have an incident, a major incident, that is.
Yeah, if it could happen at the Glen, it happened at the Glen.
Yeah, I mean, we knew going into it that there were 4 storylines, right? It was fuel mileage, fuel saving, fuel burn, and the curbs. And all 4 came into play. So,
All four of them.
Yep. I think the only car out there that didn't have a mark on it was the pace car, probably.
No, I think it had some too, honestly.
no, I think Dakota or I think Cam's right cuz it ran away from Jackson on the initial start and then didn't come back out. So, it would just
It
be
might
the
be
pace
clean.
car. Just the pace car. It would be mine would be clean too, but somebody ran me over.
All right, now don't go slow through the S's next time.
Yeah.
uh,
Right. Just get right into it. Yeah. Just
yep, you're
Yep,
good.
just
Just let's go for
send
it.
it.
all right,
You'll
boys.
see. You'll see the only highlight of my race being turn 1 through the bus stop here.
Lap 1 hero over here.
Not even lap 1, just half a lap hero.
Yeah.
I couldn't pass up. I couldn't pass up this run though.
Yeah. It's funny. I called it out when you did it. I was like, "Holy cow!"
Yeah, I took it way wide there. I was like, yeah, we're all gonna die.
I have a little bit of confidence in me. Jeez.
I had no
Although,
confidence.
yeah, right about here, you should lose all that confidence. See, the sad thing is, if I led this lap here, I would have had my 3 laps led and gotten the extra bonus point.
Yeah,
But as
that's
we'll
what I
see,
had last week.
my competitive incidence
Ooh.
flares up right there.
And everything is back to as we expected. The 96 out front.
I think he'll never admit it. I think we were a lot closer to the speed this week, where it's not.
I think our top speed, in terms of time, was probably closer to his. I think he's just way more consistent, so he can keep up that speed a lot longer than we can.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
mean,
probably where part of that came from.
what it is his top speed is like a 109 something. Our top speed's like a 110 110 you know, where he's got a couple tenths, and then our top speed is more his average lap. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
but you know, we talked about fuel mileage and fuel save. I don't know about you boys, but I was clutching and turning the car off the entire pace lap just to try and get that extra little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, for me, I'm clutching all the way through turn 1, all the way through the bus stop, then like halfway through the carousel. And I think at the end of this run, my goal was to shoot for lap 23. So near the end of this run, I wasn't quite there, and so I also was clutching into turn 6 here. But yeah, I was trying so hard to fuel save this whole time.
Yeah. My goal lap was also to be at the end of 23. That's when I'm in pit road.
I think that was most people's goal, at least where most people were gonna pit, because I think that's about where you could go with like a little bit of fuel saving and make it. Because you only had, I think, about a half a lap with if you only fuel save a little bit after that. So that last lap before I pit, I was clutching half a lap, I think, just to make it. See, at the beginning of the race, it was kind of confusing for me that I was running it a little wide in turn 1 and it was not fast. I don't know if it's something about the track state or what, but this is where I get past here.
Look at me
Ended up
No,
go.
coming
not yet.
back. Or no, not here. A little later, I think. but I think I did get past in turn one. I can't really remember where you got me, Dakota, but
It's coming up right here. I see Miguel peak, and I was like, all right, we got to do something.
I think Miguel was the only one, and maybe he's in chat. Maybe I think he's the only one that wasn't really fuel saving.
Well, he wasn't, and that's what I was saying right there. Like he poked his nose in there, and so he takes me out of fuel saving for at least 3 laps right here.
yeah, I think about did the same thing to me because I saw him get real close to me there just from me trying to clutch, and so I was trying to build a little bit more of a gap.
Look at those brake rotors on Miguel. He's not clutching at all.
Yeah, no.
See, I was clutching from the start finish line to the 400 board into one, and then I would do my normal braking, but at a much slower speed.
I was not doing it that aggressively in turn one. Which is probably why I had to save a little bit more near the end. I was kind of just, as soon as I got to the 500 board, I'd just go through the gears like I did normally, but just holding down on the clutch all the way through. Turn 6 was real treacherous though for me if I tried to clutch through there, so I tried not to do it as much as I could. Because as soon as I came back onto released the clutch, usually, if I wasn't careful, I'd lose the back end and start to spin out.
Yeah, I was
Like right there.
clutching the straightaway, like at the top end of the straightaway. So like into 6, it's like that little concrete patch where the bridge is, like where the Armcos squeeze in. That was my clutch point.
Yep, me too.
Or a little bit before that, and then I'd be on the brakes at the 400 downshift. So I was turning normal, braking normal for my turns. It's just I didn't have to brake as hard, and I was clutching before them. So
Saw me lock it up into one there, and I think that's when you got by me the first time.
yep.
Did James just get by you?
Yep, locked it up real heavy into one.
What lap this is?
3 or 4.
I think this is 5.
Oh, that's yep. This is bad news for me.
And as I said all last week, in the show last week, the curbing in turn 6, man, it is just aggressive, and it does not like being crossed. Oh.
Well, my problem was, yeah, I didn't practice.
Interesting region right here.
I didn't practice running 6. Yeah, this was actually. I tried to get out the way. I don't really know if that affected y'all, but I felt better if I got there than trying to stay on your outside with a crab walking car.
Yeah, I think it affected James a lot more than it affected me here.
Yeah, see, because I run wide, and then I anticipating you staying out, and then so.
You popped back up onto the track right as I went by you, and I was freaking out.
So there goes my race.
Can't remember which lap I get into you, James, but it's got to be coming up here sooner than later.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that totally upended your race there, Dakota. Changed the trajectory for the old 24.
Really shows you how consistency is key here, though, because Dakota's able to get just real consistent laps and able to pull back out into a P2. Granted, with a little bit of help from multiple drivers,
A lot of help. A lot of help. I'm not gonna sit here in front of all these people and act like I just drove my butt off to second. Misfortune of others kind of helped me get where I was, but
I just realized I don't have race laps up. We don't have lap counter and anything to that effect. So hopefully that'll fix that. Doesn't look like it did. Hold on, let's see if we can fix this real quick. Bear with me, y'all.
We had Ed back with the league after a while out there throwing banana peels, as he like to say. Feel like he had to have been the amount of spinning going on. First race he comes back.
Yeah, no, shout out to Ed. He had a good run.
Yep, I know he said that he got a couple times where he screwed up and spun it a little into turn one, but I mean, able to keep it with no more damage. Didn't have to make really any extra pit stops. He was able to pull out a P3 finish today or Monday.
Just keeping it clean.
Name of the game, man. That was unfortunately not the result for Jim. My dad, he's put in a lot of work this week getting his time to a competitive time, and just made a couple driver errors and threw a good shot away.
Yeah, because I think he qualified mid-pack, didn't he?
Qualified mid-pack, ran his best lap of the week in qualifying, I believe, with a 12:08. So
yeah. I mean, he was keeping up with us for a while, so I mean, really impressive race by him.
But as to be expected, Jackson out to a sizable lead. But the four of us back there are all putt-putting, saving.
Yep. I really liked whenever I saw you guys, when I saw me not making any mistakes, but you guys pulling away from me, I'm like, ooh, this is good for me. Because I needed you guys to use as much fuel as you could here.
You can see it right there. I think, Dakota, you were going to say the same thing. You can see the fuel usage in the way that Jackson's braking.
Yep.
Rotors. No rotors. Cameron's got a little bit of rotor glow there, but nothing crazy.
Yep. You would have a lot less than me if you, which makes sense now looking back at it, how I was able to gain on you going into one. I think I commented about that to Dakota, because I didn't quite realize how much fuel saving you were doing into one, and that makes sense why I was able to gain on you into one, just because you were clutching a lot earlier than I was.
Yeah. And I'm clutching down the backstretch into the bus stop. And
Yep, I was clutching until about there-ish.
clutching
Typically,
here.
maybe a little bit before that. Yep, clutching through here. And I definitely didn't clutch as much as you were in the carousel, because about halfway through, I'd start gaining on you when I let out of it.
Well, and then the other thing I'm doing is I'm not shifting to second there every lap. If I'm saving, I'm in third still, so it takes a little bit longer to fire back up. Oh, and Miguel just with a save there.
Yeah, he was really hounding me this whole time. I'm just trying to stay in front of him, and also trying to save as much fuel as I could. But yeah, no, through the carousel and the bus stop, I actually found it faster for myself. Just staying in third all the way through the bus stop and the carousel. At least early in a run. Later in the run, when the tires started to fall off, second was a little bit faster just because you were having to slow it down that much anyway.
Here's where here's where I make my mistake here, I think.
No, I think I'm too far back at this point. I was a little bit closer to you, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ran over the curb there into three.
Yeah.
No, that's something else I was going to bring up that I didn't expect. I don't know. Did you guys experience like excessive tire wear this week?
Yeah, I think. I don't. I think it was more than expected. I don't think it was excessive.
That's what I mean.
I was actually. Well, I'm about to point it out. If you'll go back to you in the carousel,
the tire scrubbing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what hurts you.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, which I think that I ended up. I think actually holding it on the bottom and just slowing it down a little bit more without. Because I know you were just letting it roll because of the clutch, but I just letting it slow down and sitting on the bottom for me. I think I was able to save a little bit more through there, but that's definitely where it got me. Because I think
that's like we'll get to it when we get to the pit cycle, but I have a couple real instances right before the pit and where it just doesn't turn.
Yeah, and I think my case is a little bit like isolated. I wrecked on lap 5, so I don't do all the clutching and all that good stuff that you're doing right now. I wreck
Right.
on lap 5 and I just push as hard as I can.
Right, and that's all you can do.
So-
And you can see here Jackson is starting to come back to us a little bit. I don't know if you guys
And
can
you were
hear
able to
that.
kind of,
It's clutching there, no sound.
yeah. And I mean, it's one of the only benefits of you wrecking where you did, Dakota, is that you were gonna have to make another pit stop anyway, so you knew you were gonna not have to, or you weren't gonna have to save um,
Right.
at all because you only had to get 40 laps out of it, and not saving at all gets you about 20. So if you had to save, you would get to it when you got to it because it wouldn't have been that hard for you to save just to get to either the end of the race or to your pit stop.
I think this is. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Looks like I missed one a little bit there.
I know you missed the S's. It wasn't really one where was got you from a mistake. It was more if you just made a big mistake in the S's, from
Yeah.
what I remember.
Yeah, I just was maybe like one got you closer and then it compounded issues.
I want to say it because I'm looking at it right now. Contrary to an opinion that was made this week, we've got 4 cars under a blanket at a road course.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, everybody was really, really close in speed, and then that fuel, the fact we were all fuel saving, it brought everybody even closer together.
Yeah, and
And it was,
that's where the opinion stemmed, is like we weren't racing, we were just in a group because we're fuel saving. You know, think like Talladega or Daytona in this car. But you know, it's what you had to do.
I mean,
What do you?
yeah, and I mean, I will say, even with that, I mean, maybe Miguel wasn't saving as much or at all,
Kirk,
but
hitting home run.
I'd say that whole time I was racing Miguel, blocking, trying to stay in front of him, and I mean, for me, I felt like I was putting a lot of effort to stay in front of him, but
Yeah,
he
no,
would have
I
to
was.
tell us more
It
whether or not
was.
he was saving.
It was fuel strategy, but you needed the track position.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I
Cool.
still felt like if I got close to you, I think I probably would have.
Here it is.
Oh, here it is. Yep. Oh, yep, right there. Yep, I was.
Go.
Well, I mean, you
Yeah,
didn't
I
let him
think.
back on the race. You didn't let James back on the racetrack.
Yeah, no. But yeah, oh no, I know that I ran him over. So when right here, I thought that I didn't expect him to be off the track right there, and so
Oh, you thought he
I
was still
didn't
on.
expect him.
That's
I thought that he was still like I thought where that little bit of runoff was is where the track was, and that was part of it, but also just not expecting that much to be carrying that much more speed there.
And then I fight this thing the entirety of the bus stop
Yeah,
into the carousel, and then I'm having to push a little harder to keep Miguel behind.
yeah. Something a lot of people don't not necessarily quite realize with that backstretch. You think it's long, so you could have plenty of time to recover, but with how aggressive that braking zone is, you really don't have that much time. But yeah, as soon as I saw you in this hornet's nest of Griffin and Miguel here, I felt so bad.
Nah, it is what it is. Like, you didn't mean to do
Yep.
that. That's just part of the closing rate. You know, that's the fastest part of the track, and I was probably 15 miles an hour slow. So we can skip ahead a little bit more to pit stop area
probably
here.
it's likely. Yeah.
Go lap 20 here.
But I mean, I will say, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. If we don't feel save this week, I mean, do you just have the same race but no fuel saving?
I mean, I think that it could go one of two ways. If we all run consistently our best laps, then we would still be somewhat under a blanket. Might be a little bit more spread out, but we were all pretty close in our qualifying times, so it might be pretty close racing. Um, but I will say with that too, if we have varying degrees of times in terms of what we can run consistently, I feel like it just gets spread out and there's not really an opportunity for any sort of passing. Whereas this way we have some fuel savings, so it's whoever does it better while maintaining the speed is able to make passes, and kind of manipulate where you save and find speed different areas. You have more variable speed, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at.
That and
So
I think the only thing that changes is we maybe have more incidents because you're pressing, knowing you have to run
yeah,
faster. But I told Jackson, I said, if this race is 20 laps, he wins by 25 seconds because he's just going to run qualifying laps with no regard for any kind of strategy. So
I mean, you see the gap that he's got on us even while he's trying to save fuel. So, which
I
I'm sure
guess
that he would probably pick that one because he would be able to just gap us all by 20 seconds. But
I guess what I'm confused by is
here's where I was talking about, by the way. Just
no that
yep,
no
yeah,
holy
you're
turn.
crap.
just
Just
looks
no
like you're
turn.
Tokyo drifting.
And it's all on the left front. Look at that. Look at that son
Yep.
of.
Oh wow, look at how much you turned. Yep.
No turn in that thing. Look at
Looks like
all the way through the carousel. That
yeah,
right
you're
front is
just
locked.
you're
That left
just
front's locked.
drifting through that corner.
I guess what I was confused by is just how do you not make it?
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
we're
mean,
gonna
I
get
think
to that. We're gonna get to that on the second half, and I'm gonna touch on that because it confused me too. As Miguel's the
Because
first
I
to take
mean,
it.
I watched your encore the other day, and it was just I couldn't even tell you were saving, even when you were max saving. Like I couldn't tell you were really. It just felt like you were just running the same pace as everyone else. I just don't know how you don't make it.
Here's the other.
yep.
That's no more tire
And
on
I will
the 29.
yep. And I will say I wouldn't say most of that tire wear is on you. I mean, when I got into you there, you were having to fight the car so much that probably didn't help at all, and was probably a big part of your few tire wear there.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely like where I'm clutching, especially like through here. It's not slowing the car like it could. So it's uh,
Yep.
it's a little A, little B, but I was definitely surprised by it. I didn't anticipate that much wear. And then losing that position in one to Griffin alters my strategy a little bit here.
Yep. And I could touch on too with the tire wear is that with them rescanning this track recently for NASCAR 25, um, it's got a newer or got an older surface now than the surface that say we were running on in that FNX series race. So a little bit more tire wear, also going faster than that race too. Now, one thing I noticed here is that when I stay out, it looks like Griffin might have intended to pit here with Jackson, but when he saw me stay out, I think he ended up staying out too.
We can see that here.
Couldn't quite
He's
tell. I was
running.
watching your in car, and it looked like he might have been, or it may have just been slow, I guess,
Might have just been slow
coming
and
off the
steady
corner.
there.
Yep. Then here I get my first lap led.
Make sure I
Unfortunately,
don't
can't get
speed.
more than the two.
Unfortunate for Miguel, he was hit with a speeding penalty on entry there, so he sits for an extra 40.
Yeah, man.
That's what happened to him. I knew he disappeared all of a sudden.
Yep, I was wondering. This whole entire lap, I was clutching way, way early, short shifting it, doing everything I could.
So there
Cause
is where the undercut from me works. I mean, I switched my strategy. I was going to run an extra lap, had like 1.2 in the tank. Um, but when I lost the spot to Griffin, oh, Brandon ate it, apparently. Saw Fender
yeah, I
flying.
saw that.
There he
Oh my
is.
goodness!
Yeah.
um,
um,
so I was going to run this 23rd lap with y'all, but when I lost the spot to Griffin, I was like, I got to undercut, take my lumps
I
here.
will say, with that too, I'd watch my pit exit, and I
Yeah,
think you were still getting by me, but we can see kind of where a lot of that time came from too.
Brandon about ate it again back there.
I was trying so hard to get. I'm surprised that I didn't get a too fast entering right there as well. I think I was going like 41 when I crossed the line, but must have been able to get it slowed down just enough that they didn't hand me with anything or hit me with any penalties there.
And off of 7, here comes Dakota and Jackson. New leader, the 24.
At this point in the race, I didn't know if what I was doing was even going to work, but I was just glad to leave laps.
Well, it was really your only choice was to run as hard as you can because it was your only option to even salvage a decent finish at that point.
Oh, and here, to your point here.
Yep. Yep. I still think you come out ahead of me here, but this didn't do me any favors with how long this exit
Yeah, there
line
comes
is.
James at speed.
If I had to slam on the brakes there not to run into Richard there, and then couldn't quite get around him early enough. But I think it's if at the
He
very
gets you
best
on the
for
back
me,
half of the S's, I
yeah,
think, anyway,
yeah,
but
at the very best for me, we go into the S's side by side, which we probably didn't want to do anyway.
Right.
But that's even wishful thinking. I think you still get by me before we get to the S's.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was on your bumper. Like, I think it was probably the spotter would have said bumper by the time you're exiting pit road before you jump to the left to get around Richard.
And I also wasn't exactly sure how wide you were taking 1-2, so I wasn't going to risk jumping all the way to the outside and collecting both of us into a wreck. And so I gave it a little extra time trying to get out of there. It's too early in the race to be.
Right. No, and I appreciate that because I was definitely given. I went pretty far to the left to give room. I knew you were coming off pit road, and I wanted to
Yep.
carry as much speed as possible to try and beat you. But here's interesting. As we get ready to close this pit cycle, Dakota's the last to pit. Oh, and I do want to know where Miguel is because there he is. He comes back to pit right before you do, Dakota, or the same lap as you. So I wonder if you got damage or something. Had to have, I guess, but
Very
well,
possible. I know he loses a lap at one point. I think the only people on the lead lap was you and Dakota there at the end.
yeah, I mean he lost his lap.
Ed, yeah. Look at Ed, first race back. Doesn't care, he's still going to throw it in there.
Again, Ed did
slow
great.
and steady winning the race.
Oh.
I think we were all lawnmower at some point off the S's right there.
Yeah.
Really expensive lawnmower, but a lawnmower nonetheless.
Here. All right, we'll come back to. Two totally different strategies battling for the lead.
Wait, on 26?
Oh yeah, we're working 26, so this will be you pitting here, I think.
And this is where I was confused because I wrecked on lap 5.
And you're in 21.
And I'm coming to pit 27 really, and I had like 0.9 left in the tank. I just didn't want to stretch it and run out.
No,
So
yeah, you wouldn't have made it, I don't think.
Yeah, with
I
no,
just
I found with no tires or no fuel saving at all, you get about 20, 21.
that was 22 essentially. Like if I really wanted to go another lap, I could have clutched the last lap, but that's
Yeah.
what confuses me. Essentially, no saving, I make it 22 laps.
Oh, there.
So
Okay,
I
we
don't.
missed what happened to Miguel here. Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
there's some
this
new
is when
damage.
Ed, I think, spun himself out here.
Oh, and blinked.
Oh, well.
Is
Didn't
it
hit anything there.
reactionary? Oh, he misses the first S.
It's the second.
Yep.
Yep, right there. Yep.
Tails old as time.
I did that
Missed
plenty
the
of
first
times.
one. You're
in
not making the
practice.
second.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Ooh, jumps that first curb a little bit too much. Yeah, gets it saved pretty well.
Yeah. holding on to that's pretty impressive.
That was. All right. So now that the pit cycle has completed, when the pit cycle started, it was Jackson, Cameron, James, Miguel, Griffin, Dakota, and it was 4 seconds from Jackson to Cameron. Then I'm 6 seconds behind Jackson. Miguel's 6.5. Griffin's 7.2. Dakota P8, 36 seconds back. At the end of the pit cycle, Miguel's had his problems. He's 7th, a lap down, and back in pit road. But then I'm 8 seconds back of Jackson. Cameron is 8-9 back. Griffin 13 back. Dakota all the way up to 5th, 35 seconds back. So that's after the pit cycle. That's everyone to the checkered. And then to your point, Dakota, as we're gonna find, this will be an important lap because I'm close on fuel, and Cameron is making it tough.
Yep, that was my only goal, was to sit behind you and hope that you make a mistake again and not run over you.
Yeah, well, and just you being there, I'm not able to save like I want to because I can't just let you go, like I would have in the first half
Yeah.
of the race. But like, that's where having to take the undercut affected me because I wanted to be on the same strategy as you two, and just unable.
Not to beat a dead horse. It's just, do you not make it to the end of the race because you didn't want to, or because you couldn't?
Well, and again, we're gonna get through this here, and then I'm gonna go into my spiel because Cameron gets got by curb 6.
I'll apologize to Griffin again for this one.
Oh!
Okay, let me walk through that. So go ahead, go back a little bit here.
Ooh,
So
Cameron.
right there, okay, let me walk through it. And I was say I've apologized to Griffin multiple times, and I'll apologize again now. Um, he got involved in this, didn't need to be. But right here, I spun out. I was following James, didn't realize how wide you were taking it.
You can see the
So I
sparks.
tried to save it and ended up right on bottoming out on that. So at this point, I think I'm about like at that white line there.
Hold on, let me get to it better.
Yeah, that white line, not the one where the yellow line starts, but that last white line. That's where I thought I was. So I thought that I was off the racing line anyway, or I thought that I was off the racing line over by the grass. And okay, right here though, I thought I had a lot more time to Griffin. I'll say that, which is why I moved at all anyway. I thought that I was off the racing line here, and so I thought that I backed up into the racing line, and that's why I gassed it up. And I didn't realize how close to that corner that I was, and so
Let's go.
that's why I gassed it up. And unfortunately, Griffin, wrong place, wrong time, and yep, I apologize again for that one.
Let's go
Completely on me, just a rookie
board.
mistake. Um, Not holding the brake or holding my position when I was broadside on the track.
Let's go on board an unsuspecting Griffin deer.
Yep, Jeff, big rookie mistake by me all the way through this little sequence of events here, and it continues when I get down pit road. Um, yep, he had nowhere to go. No way he could have predicted me doing that.
No, and I tell you, the problem is when he comes around there and you're backing up, he's got to make the decision as soon as he sees you.
Yep.
So,
Yep, I just completely didn't even know that he was that close to me, and then as well where I was on the track, and should have just kept it. Should have just kept it where I was, and that's on me.
42,
And then I compounded.
44
I
before you hit the brakes.
well, well, I don't. I didn't get a penalty. I got a speeding penalty on pit exit here. Actually, I didn't get any
Oh,
penalties at the beginning, so I just gassed it up. I was going 43 on pit exit, and that was enough for them to give me the penalty there.
so and then yeah, Griffin had to tow, so that's unfortunate.
Yep.
Okay.
Too much front end damage for him. One bit.
So here is where I'm going to go into my spiel. If Cam doesn't wreck, I probably don't make it because I have to push to keep him behind me. I can either finish third or run out. Like, those are my choices. Now that Cameron's out of the question, I am, if we look at, I can't hardly see, I'm almost 10 seconds behind Jackson. And I've got 37 seconds to Dakota, or 20 seconds to Dakota. So I'm in fuel save. There is absolutely no reason that Jackson shouldn't also be in max fuel save because I'm not passing him.
Especially the 10-second gap he
If
had.
I make up a 10-second gap, I'm going to run out of fuel. So it's over. It's Jackson's race. But he doesn't fuel save.
Yeah, I don't know, because he was definitely fuel saving that first run, so I wonder if that second run he just decided he wasn't going to,
Like
when
you
he
guys
didn't get to lap 23.
you guys can
But
hear, right? You guys can hear the car.
Yeah.
Listen.
yep,
So like that's fuel save right there.
hmm
And that's every lap. And I just like you've got a 10 12 second lead. There's just no reason not to do that.
yeah, and I mean it's not necessarily hard to do. I don't think. I think it's just it might be frustrating, especially I will say to understand where Jackson's coming from. He is so fast that it's frustrating to have to slow himself down to that um, level. But we all knew what the situation would be,
Yeah.
especially after that first run. I think he knew the situation that he'd be in, given that I know that he was for sure fuel saving that first run because there's no reason I should have been able to keep it within 5 seconds of him.
Right. But like so here's my where I guess I take umbrage with his frustration is if you want to be this frustrated about Sonoma, I get it because I didn't do any fuel saving. My pace saved my fuel. So like I didn't do anything and I won because he was faster and ran himself to where he had to save fuel. Here you couldn't just be slow and save fuel. Like you had to work and save fuel. Like that's strategy. That's how you had to account for every lap. And like there's laps in the second half that I run like 113s. I'm burning, 4.7 or 0.47 gallons on a lap, and like that's slow to make it. So I don't know, man. I get his frustration being so fast, but it's part of the game.
Yep. And I mean, we've had this session up for a while for people to
Since the update.
practice. Yep, since the update. So, and it's been 63% for every single race fuel limit. So, I mean, it's really everybody had the opportunity to know what strategy they were going to take. But yeah, I do understand his frustration with it. I mean, I'm sure that if I was that fast, I'd be frustrated with it too. But it's a yin and yang with the way that we decided to do this season. Everybody had a vote. We decided fuel saving.
I just think ask the guy who wasn't even in the race at Sonoma the second half because I ran myself out of fuel on pace. I learned my lesson the first time. I mean, it's been there. It's not like it was just a surprise.
Right, and again, and
Yep.
that's where I go back to. If you want to take umbrage with my pace, winning me the race at Sonoma, I get it, because I was shocked that the fuel was as close as it was for you guys because it never entered my mind. I was like, I can make it 28 laps or whatever, so that's my strategy, and that's a one stop without any sweat. And then it comes to light that you guys are saving, you guys tried to save 4 laps of fuel over the 2 runs. Like I had no idea. So yes, my slow ass lucked into that. But here, like, there's no way to make it on one stop without saving on both ends. So, that you know that coming in. If you're not willing to play the game, then that's what it is.
Yeah.
But,
Yep.
He's going to come to pit road here, and he's got a 13-second lead right now as he hits pit road.
Well, and that's my other thing. So coming to pit road here, I mean, even you. Okay, so you stop for fuel, and you're gonna make it to the end now. His pace, I don't know what happens here,
He speeds.
but his. Oh, okay.
41 right there.
I was gonna say because his pace. I mean, he just comes in for fuel now. He's definitely gonna make it. He wins this race.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
would
wonder
think.
if he got tires or not. We'll see here.
I don't think so. I think, did he speed on pit road?
He sped. Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say he was stopped for a while. That was
no
my
tires,
theory.
It's just fuel. But
I think he did start pushing at some point because we established before he was only 10 seconds ahead of you there a couple laps ago. When he pit, he was, 13, 14 seconds ahead?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's part of that's you start saving a little bit, but
Well,
he
again,
definitely
I think
didn't.
I think I was 8.2 or something behind him after the cycle, and then when you wreck, I stopped racing. I was like, okay, I gotta finish P2. I gotta maximize my day. I'm not catching Jackson. I just need to make sure that my fuel makes it to the end. So that was my. But yeah, Jackson just now leaving pit road as I cross the line. So he goes from a 13-second lead, pits for fuel, gets that speeding penalty, and now he's 51 seconds behind me. Brutal turn of events for Jackson, but again, I don't know why he's just not saving. We got 11 laps here, 12 from the time he pitted to just go slow, run 14s.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't catching him. Dakota isn't catching him from 37 seconds back.
Nope. Especially with all the problems that, I mean, if he had to save like that, maybe I catch him if I don't make a mistake because I can push it a little bit more. But even then, I can't push it a second a lap basically faster than him.
Yeah.
I get it though, and this may be the last time that we have this problem. Well, like you said, we decided at the beginning of the year, this car sucks at racing on ovals, so we made fuel strategy a thing, and to keep it consistent, we just carried it everywhere. So, new car next season, and I, at the end of the day, I'm not like sitting here just trying to berate Jackson about being mad about it. I get it, and I don't want to lose Jackson over fuel saving at road courses. It's I understand where he's coming from.
Oof.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Jackson's one of the fastest guys all year. I understand his frustration with everything. Um, and looking forward to hopefully racing with him, continuing going forward here. He's got a rush shot at the championship for here. So I think looking forward to the future. I think we're obviously in the early stages. We have a schedule all finished now, as we'll reveal a little bit later. We're in the beginning stages of figuring out the fuel, but we should have a little bit better fuel situations for all tracks. So we'll be excited to reveal that to you guys when we get to it. Um, and I think we've got a little incident here James is going to cover.
Yeah, we were.
Hadn't seen this yet, but I don't know
Yeah,
if
I don't
did not
Richard's
know.
know this
Maybe
pitting.
happened.
blame the lap car for that one.
I don't know if
Yeah.
Richard's pitting or what, or if he's just trying to get out of the way.
Oh
But
yeah, he's
I'm not
definitely.
sure.
he didn't.
He's basically stopped mid corner.
He's not.
Yeah,
Let's see if he
just
pulls it. Yeah.
just
So, oh no,
very
no.
slow. No, he pulls back out. Yeah,
But
I did
yeah,
not realize that Griffin got into another little incident.
But yeah, Griffin in the chat says he bought race labs just for this race to be ready for fuel. So,
Yep.
I mean that's what I use, and I was running the fuel calculator. Like I knew I needed to be under a certain number every lap, or average a number to make it that 23 laps, and after Cam wrecks out, I'm way below that number to make sure I'm good. So.
Yep. I mean, you were running what 13, 14, 113, 114s basically that whole stint after I wrecked.
Definitely 112s. I wasn't running faster than 112s.
Yeah, because I know me and Dakota were talking about it, and Dakota's like, "Surely you can't make it, right?" And I'm looking at your times on my overlay, and I'm like, I don't know. I think he makes it because I saw a couple laps where you hitting 13, 14 seconds, and I'm like, yeah, but if he runs that pace, he's gonna make it easily.
Yeah, I ended up being almost a full lap to the good.
Yep, I don't doubt it. I mean, even that last lap before I pit, I was about, like I said, a quarter of a lap short, and when from all the saving I did, when I ended up pitting, I think I was about, I think it was like half a lap to the good after all that. So there's definitely opportunities to save laps or save tires or fuel. Jeez, eventually I get there. Save fuel at this track.
So, just a little funny how it works out thing. We see Brandon out of the race here, P9, 4 laps down.
Hmm.
I'm coming by him to put him 5 laps down. My dad is 5 laps down. Passes Brandon for 9th right there. And then DNFs.
Oh, yep.
So he gets 9th.
Did he end
But
up getting ninth
he
in the
got
race?
9th.
Oh my
He got
goodness.
9th because he made it one more corner. And then his pit's in front of
He
him.
did, yeah. I wonder where Brandon wrecked out because I'm pretty sure they set it to wherever on the track that you wrecked, but maybe not at this track.
Well, I think he came into pit road and parked it,
That might be what it was.
and so Dad passes pit entrance, and that's all she wrote.
Well, that wreck was like shades of 2000 Jimmy Johnson losing
Yeah,
the race.
Exactly.
yeah, no doubt. I watched it in my mirror. He's like, "Oh no!" And I look in my mirror and I see that the rear wheels come up when he hits. I'm like, "Oh, that one hurt."
Yeah, that
One of
wasn't
those.
any good.
You definitely don't need a full motion simulator for when that stuff starts to happen.
Nah, that you would have felt that one.
Yeah, but just funny how that worked out. That he got exactly the runway he needed to get to beat Brandon.
Yep, got exactly what you. His car knew. He's like, okay, we got you the spot. We're gonna just lock him up here and just be done. I can't remember what lap it was, but I know that there's a major incident with me and Jackson um, coming up here. I can't remember
Yeah, it's
exactly which lap it was. I think it's lap 40, 40 maybe.
43 for me. So we can just
So
jump.
it'd be 42 for me, but Jackson was still on the lead lap at that point. At this point, I mean, I think I don't know if he was pushing his car too hard, but I mean, if
Yeah,
he ever got to me, I was gonna let him by, but he kind of just parked it right about that far behind me, and I
here's
was
how you
like,
can
okay,
see
I'll
he's
just
pushing too
stop.
hard.
Yep.
Tag the wall there. And
Yep.
that could be a little bit of your wake, but
Yeah.
through the S's. But
Could also be frustration, just driving it a little bit too hard, knowing that he's so far behind you at this point.
yeah. Just jump ahead.
I think I spun it out of 6 or 7 there and ended up drag racing down the front, but ended up getting single filed out for turn 1. At this point, he gets close enough to me that I've kind of decided that whenever he gets to me, I was probably going to let him by. But I felt like every time it really got real close, he never would kind of poke his nose out. So
Yeah.
ended up just staying where I was.
It got really
Figured that he was
sunny.
just content. Yeah, exactly. They got real
It's the
slippery around this portion of the race with the sun coming out.
it's the exact opposite of Sonoma, where it was. Ooh, look at that save,
You can see
guys.
it right there. Yep.
Um, it's the exact opposite of Sonoma. They got really dark in the last 3 laps. This one in the last 3 laps got really, really bright.
Yep. And then here we come up here on Richard. Just nowhere to go really to get around him. And I had no clue we were 3 wide here. It's unfortunate.
Compounding, maybe Jackson's not as frustrated with the race if that doesn't happen. That doesn't look great.
Yep. Looks like a little intentional rack attempt possibly, or just frustration.
Probably a good thing that missed.
Yeah. But I mean, I will say that could be a large part of where Jackson's frustration came from, was getting wrecked out in that manner. I know that I would be real frustrated too, especially with this compounding issues there. Um,
Yeah, still clutching, still trying to make it. Dakota, what now within 6 seconds, I think.
Yeah, I was doing my best Jaws impression. It just wasn't enough.
yep. We were watching the gap every lap, and it was getting closer and closer. But as we neared these last couple laps, we're like, it's just not going to be enough.
You were watching the gap every lap. Anytime I had a good corner, I looked over there.
Hey, every time I crossed the line, I looked to see what the gap is. I didn't care enough to look every single corner.
I was looking at every single corner because I was like, "Where's he clutching at? Where am I catching him at? What can I do better?"
I can say that I did not clutch at all on the last lap. I think this right here is my last clutch.
Which doesn't surprise me because I think your last lap was about a second or two faster than every other lap in this run.
And the other thing is, my internet was run through Georgia last night. I don't know what happened. With 10 to go, I got, oh, your internet's acting up. They're threatening to pull you in from the spotter. And I'm like, oh, no. I had just taken the lead. It was my race to lose. And it would have just been, just like Dover in the FNX, the internet crap out.
I want to say I overdrive one just trying to get as much as I could to catch you there.
It seems like you overdrove a couple spots because like I was watching the gap and it'd be like 4-1, 4-0, 4-7, 4-8, 4-1, 4-5. You know what I mean? It was just fluctuating a lot on the last lap. But yep, just did just
the
enough.
Little devil on my shoulder told me to not take the bus.
Let me tell you,
Oh,
taking it at speed through the chute, not a great call.
No.
So.
No, I'd never cheat like that anyway. But the little devil on my shoulder was like, "You could catch him if you didn't take it, though."
But
oh man!
as we come off of 7, it's time to break out the brooms. Because just as everyone expected, a Jackson sweeps the road courses. Just not the Jackson you expected.
Yeah, just not the one we thought.
I mean, it's just you're so consistent at both the road courses. Just from, I mean, you can say fuel saving all you want, but you were able to do what you needed to do to get the job done. Get yourself to that room.
Did anyone check on Ed after this race? That was a pretty hard hit.
My Blue Jay bro doing burnouts with me.
About everybody's celebrating after this race. Either happy it's done or happy they made it through it. Maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah, little A, little B. Everybody but the 96.
Well, like I said earlier, I don't want to. I don't want to berate him. I understand why he was mad, and I do expect. I'm just gonna make my preseason predictions because we are gonna move just a tiny bit away from like fuel, considering the Gen 6 has a lot of tire issues, and so maybe Jackson sweeps both the road courses easily next. No, we have 3.
We have 3.
You may see 3 Jackson wins.
Yep,
And
adding a
so
road
he
course.
may, if he stays with us, I hope this week didn't really, you know, make him want to quit.
I think he'll stay with us. I think he's just frustrated. My only concern is whether he runs Phoenix next week or not, knowing that he is unavailable the week after. So, um,
Yep,
but
definitely
I
be an
was telling
interesting decision.
I was telling him post race, I don't think it'll be the same. Even if we run the same capacity, I don't think it'll be the same result. Just because the sports car brakes on these cars make it so
Hmm.
you can clutch wherever and still make your corner, brake as hard as you
Yep.
need to. Whereas you do that in the previous gen car, you're gonna wheel hop. If you go out of your way to be different, the result's not going to be the same. I don't think. We could get there, and it is, but I don't think. I think that tire wear is going to be more of a factor. The wheels hopping is going to be a factor. So I don't think it'll be the same.
Not to change the subject too much, but you missed the golden opportunity to go to right to where you wrecked in the FNX and do a burnout there, Chase Elliott style.
Well, I ran out of
He's
fuel.
trying. He's trying right
I
here.
ran out of fuel, but I did park it over there.
Hell yeah.
My PRL Watkins Glen and my FNX Watkins Glen ended in the same spot.
With quite different front bumper
Well, to
attachment
be fair, in FNX you
states.
bounced about 30 feet off that wall, but
Well,
Yeah, I think you ended
It
up on the
ended in the
inside
same
wall.
spot.
yeah.
But
Oh man. But yep, really fun. I really enjoyed this road course race as bad as it went for me, and as sorry as I feel for the people that I ran into. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun racing personally. I mean, maybe it's just because I happened to actually be fast this time. I don't know, but
Well, it sucks both the PRL Toyotas wrecked in the exact same fashion and the exact same spot.
yeah,
I told you
that
guys that turn 6 curb was going to bite people, and it got both of you.
yeah.
Well,
I should have
I
just
never
hopped
finished
over
my
it like you
statement.
did.
I never finished my statement earlier. All week I practiced second gear through six, and I was trying to fuel save in third. So when I got up on that curb in third, I couldn't hold it.
Oh, I ran at pace third gear. So that's interesting that you went
See,
down
I
to
had no
second.
trouble holding it.
I couldn't make it work consistently on third in terms of getting it slowed down. I'm sure if I just during the race, I'm sure I could have just from how slow I was running for fuel saving purposes, but no, I can't even wish. I wish I had an excuse like I was trying to save, and I was just following you and didn't realize till the last second that I was following you wide.
Yeah, like I think I talked to you guys about it, and I know I told my dad about it. You can't go half measure on it. If you're gonna go
Mm-mm.
over the curb, you have to go all the way over the curb, like turn four at Sonoma. You have to know
Yep.
before you get there what your exit looks like. If you're in the middle, you're going around and you're, uh, collecting an innocent bystander from Canada.
Yeah.
I know. Sorry for my com- what is it? Competitive impotence,
There you
whatever
go.
it was. Yeah, whatever the word is. Yeah, sorry, that flared up a little bit there. Happened to collect Griffin in that one, so unfortunate. It's the unfortunate. Really, I don't really have another word. Just unfortunate little sequence there, and real fortunate, however, for James gets himself far enough out there and make it to the end. Get himself a win. So going into Phoenix, here's this is
This was
actually
going
after
in.
Bristol.
Yeah, this was going
Going into
into
yep,
Monday night. What we were looking at.
Hudson. I wish this was going into Phoenix. I'd be like, oh man, I did better than I thought I did.
Yeah, so there's the standings. I was +2, Cam +6, Griffin +9, and Dakota +44,000. Um, and then we had the little stats going into it too. The 5 wins for Dakota, a bunch of laps led, yada yada. Playoff stats going into it, and then pulled off the dub. And here's the standings headed into Phoenix. Very tight at the cut line between you and Jackson Cameron.
Yep. Yep, not what I wanted to see coming out of there. I was hoping I could hold on to that fastest lap, but he got me by 3/10 of a second, so I knew I wasn't legitimately faster. I was just hoping that he was going to save and not have a shot at it. Um, but yeah, no, just ended up being the swing between him, and then I would also be tied if I was able to lead that third lap. So a couple of key mistakes for me tonight keeps me out of the top four going into Phoenix here, but
Yeah, you had
hoping
what
that I can
I
have a decent one.
had at Bristol with the 5 point swing on that
Yep.
late caution. You know, getting Jackson back on the lead lap and losing a spot, and you picking up a spot. You know, missed
Hmm.
out on a couple points there, and you missed out on a couple points last night or Monday night, and it looms a little bit larger for you. Um,
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Um, Going to the statistics here, we have James pulling out, getting most tops fives solely now.
yep, and the Dakota picked up what 4 laps led, ups his total. I went 11 to get over 100 finally. Jackson
Dakota
another, yeah,
really
I
needed
know,
that.
yeah. Jackson another dominant performance. I think he led 28 to go up to nearly 250 on the season. And then
Very,
in the
very nice.
playoffs, um, you know, interesting that the average finish completely aligns with the points, other than Jim and Brandon. Um, they're swapped by half a place average finish. So, but
Well, I hate that we have to call it this early, but I think unfortunately Jim and Brandon are statistically out.
Yep, as long as everybody else makes the start, I don't see. I mean, it's physically impossible to gain that many points with how many drivers we have. If we get to 10, I think the most that you can gain on somebody, assuming they finish last, is what? Not even 15, like 13, something like that. Um,
We can't count Miguel out though.
yeah,
no,
Barring a
can't come.
Jackson no show and a Cameron bad race, he could still be in this thing.
yeah,
Yep,
especially if he can
absolutely.
lead a bunch of laps, set fast lap and stuff.
Yep.
There's points. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be an uphill battle, but it's not
I mean,
impossible.
we're going
He's
back
got
to
to
an
be William
oval.
Byron in Martinsville.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yep. I mean, it's definitely possible if he gets those bonus points. He doesn't even need me to have a bad race. If I just finish fourth and he gets a bunch of bonus points and finishes first or second, I mean, that's the difference right there.
yeah. And I sit here and I feel good about being +7, but it's not. That's not a lock either. So
I mean, he'd mean both me and Jackson to have good races and you have a bad race, but definitely possible. Not mathematically locked in. Dakota obviously been mathematically locked in since going into Bristol, basically, but or not mathematically, but
if he gridded, he would have been fine. So
yeah. But
um, so yeah, there's statistics again, and then we into the final 2 races.
yep, got Phoenix next week. Excited for that. I know that a little lucky for everybody here. We get to get some real cars on track practice all week if you want to, with the Cup cars obviously being at Phoenix this week and the officials, given that the actual Cup cars are also racing at Phoenix. So funny how it ended up that way, but plenty of opportunity to get some practice in, know what your strategy kind of is going to be like going into the race. Especially the real benefit being that you can practice with race pace against other cars and drivers at at a solid skill level. You don't have to depend on the AI and
Yeah,
sometimes they're unrealistic moves. But
no, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about that, but that's actually a great point because I don't think I've ever run the next gen at Phoenix. So
it's fun, but it's interesting. It's I ran a car race a couple nights ago. Um, It'll be a really interesting race. I think it could be fun. It could end up being a snoozer with Dakota just running away with it, but we'll see. Hopefully, we can put out the rest of the field can shut on a little better showing, and it's not going to be Dakota and James finishing 2 laps ahead and everybody else struggling.
I mean, I'm fine with that, Dakota. If you want to run that back, I'm cool with that.
Hey, I'm cool with it too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the rest of the field doesn't want that to happen. All right. I guess real quick here before we move on to the next, I guess, couple of seasons, we'll go ahead. Who do we got winning at Phoenix? I know we haven't done this in a couple weeks, but
Uh, I'll lead off, and I will say Dakota gets it done, and we status quo. And I guess the better question is who is do the top do me and Griffin both make it, and then who's the fourth? Which selfishly, I'm gonna say yes. Griffin and I both hold on into our 7 point lead in advance. And then I don't know, man. I think it really depends on if Jackson shows up or not. That's
I think it's really going to depend on the race because I think we're going to run close. I mean, we've always, at every single short track, aside from Bristol this season, especially at these flatter tracks, so like North Wilkesboro, Richmond, um, me and Jackson have run right next to each other in the majority in pretty much every single race aside from Bristol. So I think it's going to be close between us the
and
entire race if he ends up showing up.
selfishly, like obviously in my rooting interest, I'm rooting for Jackson since he's not racing Homestead, and that's one less person to race against. But I love the fact that it's 1 point separating you two, and it's not two. It's not like you can tie on position
Hmm.
alone. Like obviously points as they are accrued, like laps led or fast lap or pole or whatever or positions gained, will play a role. But like in theory, whoever finishes ahead of each other is going to advance, and I think that's going to be awesome to watch.
Assuming we finish in the top five for sure.
Ed said
Because
he's winning the race, so don't
yeah,
worry about that.
I say up to sixth, six on back is just 1 point. So if we finish sixth, seventh, or something like that, it could end up in a tie, assuming we don't get bonus points. But yeah, you're right. I don't see us finishing outside of the top five,
I
barring a
think,
bad race from one of us.
yeah, I think if one of you guys finishes sixth or worse, it doesn't matter. Honestly,
No,
I don't think both
no,
of you finish outside the top five. So
absolutely. I guess for me, for my race winner pick, I have to go with Dakota. I mean, he hasn't proven anybody wrong at Phoenix so far. I'm gonna obviously pick myself, and I don't think you or Griffin have a bad enough race to put you in jeopardy. But I can't not pick myself here.
right, yeah.
But it's gonna be a shootout all the way to the last lap probably.
Dakota, do you make it like me at a road course and clean sweep? Pick yourself.
Um, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Uh,
The only
Oh
other
I think
man.
I
person.
think I think the only other person, like, I think, dang, this is gonna come off wrong. I am gonna just sound so arrogant when I say this. The only person I'm worried about is James. Um, but either
I was
way,
the
I
only
think the
one.
top three in points are locked.
Damn, didn't even consider Ed. Ed, you should wreck him for that.
He will wreck me. He doesn't care if it comes down to a win, he'll wreck me. And it won't matter to me. I think I'm good on points as long as I show up. But uh, maybe James gets it done though. I'm not even gonna pick myself because I've never ran the next gen here, and just because I'm good in everything else doesn't mean I'm gonna be good in this car here. So I'm gonna give the edge to James, especially if it comes down to fuel. I don't think it will. I think the testing that we've done running officials, it's just gonna be a two stop push race. But um,
Yeah,
just as far as the fourth spot, I mean, if Jackson shows up, I just need Cameron to quit choking. I don't know what's going on right now, but
I
um,
have this thing called competitive impotence. I was diagnosed at this point by Brandon.
Brandon deserves a medal for uncovering this horrific affliction that Cameron has.
He's yet to
yeah,
give me
ever
a
since he
cure.
said that,
He's got to
you
be
have
working
yet
on
to
that,
do
I
anything.
hope.
I mean, he ever since he said you had it. I mean, you showed up to Bristol. You were like, yeah, I feel like I can contend, and
Oh, I never said
I
I
don't
was
know
going to
where you've
contend.
been.
I hope I can finish top five, which I did, but 5 laps down. But we don't need to talk about that part.
And you lasted about half a lap at Watkins Glen before it just fell apart. So
Hey, now I was in second
I need you to
until
get it together
pit
here.
stops.
I need you to get it together this week.
You act like you want me at Homestead.
I was gonna say,
Oh
man, you
no, I
want?
don't.
I
You act
guess
like you want me at probably my best track.
Well,
for
I mean, I don't want you at Homestead, but I just feel bad that we came into the round and we were like, I'm in a pretty good spot. Cameron's in a pretty good spot, and now all of a sudden you're not even in.
I mean, I figured this might happen. I think I predicted that I needed to have a good Bristol. or in a mediocre at least Watkins Glen. I mean, it's to screw up both of those, and which I could definitely predicted could have come
Well, and
to
here's the other
pass.
thing.
But
Here's the other thing. If Jackson doesn't pit, it's even worse.
oh yeah, well. I'd only be well, yeah, you're right, because he would probably be around where you're at. Because I will say, well,
I
even
would
with
be
he scored 7 or 8 more points just on
uh
bonus points, even with him
right.
scoring or finishing behind me because of bonus points that he had. He had all of them, I'm pretty sure. And so yeah, it would have been
Well, and
he probably would have been locked in.
even if he doesn't just doesn't wreck, if he pits, gives up the lead, finishes third, that's still what 4 points or 4 positions ahead of you, which is 5 points. So that'd be a tall
5 or
task
6
too.
points. Yeah.
So
Yep. So
it's gonna
unfortunate.
be
I mean, it was an unfortunate wreck, but also a fortunate wreck for me, I guess. But obviously, I don't want to see it happen like that. I'm not going to say that I wanted that to happen, obviously, but it definitely does help for me.
yeah. So it'll be fun to watch. Keep an eye on YouTube next week, as I'm just trying to be the only car left on the lead lap behind Dakota
I'm
again.
glad that somebody will be having fun watching this because I'm not going to be having fun.
No, you sure won't. But uh, yeah. So I think so. Dakota, do you think Cam gets it done, or do you think Jackson holds that point, assuming he shows up?
Oh, I'm gonna
You don't have to worry about offending me if you think that I'm not going to make it. Say it like I don't. It's a definite possibility.
giving the last two races. No, but I'm gonna put faith in my boy that he can do something
Man,
worth
I'm gonna
talking
need
about
you
this week.
every time you say I'm worth it. I fuck up. So why don't we just say that I'm gonna
No,
fuck up? Maybe
I
I'll do
said no.
good.
I'm saying I hope you can do something worth talking about. I'm not saying you are. I just hope you can.
I'll try.
I unfortunately I think much like me in FNX, I think the regular season champ curse bit ya. It
Yep.
didn't bite you as bad as it bit me at Watkins Glen, but it bit you. And
Yeah.
I think we're gonna. It's. I think Jackson, if assuming he shows up, I think he holds on to the 1 point advantage and takes that fourth
Yep.
spot at Homestead.
I don't blame. I'm trying to prove you wrong, but also don't blame you for that.
Also, I'm just talking myself
Idea.
into it because again, one less person to race, and I know you're good at
Yeah.
Homestead, so don't need
Yeah.
that in my
Yeah. Yeah.
life.
Yeah. Absolutely. I don't blame you. All
So
right. Anybody else got anything else about the rest of this season?
looking forward to it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So do we want to go to season 1.5 first here before we go to one?
Yeah. Let's go to Holiday Dash real quick. So we already announced this, but we're gonna go over it real quick. So this will be in the Gen 6 Cup cars, obviously. $30 to win, winner take all points. 5 races. We have Mondays and Fridays. You are able to miss 2, assuming if you need to, as those your 2 worst races are going to be dropped anyway. So your points are only going to be based off of your top 2 um, or top 3 races finishes. That is. So we're starting off at Daytona, 50 laps, then headed that Friday to Las Vegas. Then the following Monday, Bristol, then Michigan, and then Charlotte, wrapping it up on December 15th. Aside from Charlotte, made that a little bit longer, given that's the last race by 5 laps. Um, we're going half, and we'll go into this more when we get into next season's schedule, but we are going half of what next season's scheduled length is. So if Michigan was on our season next season, it is not, but if we were going there, we'd run 100 laps there. So we're running 50 laps here. So a little shorter races, given uh, with the dash branding, short season, short races. This is just to get everybody used to the Gen 6 cars, as well as trying to bring some more people in here. Um, and so we are going to be, we're going to go into this more as it gets closer in terms of how you can join these races, but these will be held as hosted races, not in the league. So then they will be open to anybody to join those races. So there's going to be no password protection on it, and so try to get more people to race with us and see if they can stick with us for the season. So I'm looking forward to that coming up in December. Just a little short 2.5 week season. 5 races should be a lot of fun. First, hopefully, annual holiday dash.
And then just to clarify the track choices, we are running comparable tracks to what we are running. So like we're not running Vegas, we're not running Michigan, but those are obviously comparable. Vegas being to Kansas, Chicagoland, Michigan to Auto Club, which we are running, and then Bristol just kind of getting that short track vibe, and Daytona and Charlotte we are running, but Daytona, everyone wants to run Daytona all the time, so it's a good way to grab people.
It's really only 2 super speedways to choose from, so
Yeah, we're not gonna run
chose the one that'll
iRacing
get most.
or Echo Park, so
Yeah, we're not
we'll
gonna
go
do that.
tried and true Daytona.
Oh yeah,
Anything else on the holiday dash before we bump to 26?
I don't have anything.
Alrighty. Schedule.
All right. So
Ed said
here's
go
our
ahead and drop
schedule.
Bristol for him.
What's that?
He said go ahead and drop Bristol for him in the dash.
Well, you don't have to win it if you don't have to race in that one if you don't want to. 3 races at least you got to be in. But all right, so here's our season for next season. Before we get into the exact dates and any more, I'm gonna go ahead and bring up. So this is our, and this will all be posted in the Discord server following the broadcast. However, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you how we decided on race distances. So you'll notice that every single super speedway, so starting with Daytona, is 250 miles. So Daytona is 100 laps, half of the 500, 250, 100 laps. You'll notice that Talladega is 94 laps. It's a slightly longer track, slightly shorter amount of laps, same distance, obviously. And then that goes for everything. So 200 miles for the intermediates. So that's your anything from your 1.5 miles to also your 2 mile in Auto Club. So you'll see Auto Club at 100 laps. Some of the mile and a halves aren't quite a mile and a half. So you'll see, can't remember which one it is, but one of them we're going to run slightly short or less laps
Atlanta's
as it's a
slightly
slightly longer track.
longer than the 1.5,
Yep,
so yeah, that's the
I see.
difference.
Yep, I was looking for it, couldn't find it, but yep. So yeah, but they're all going to be 100 or 200 laps or miles. All of our short tracks, besides Martinsville, I'll get into that in a second, are going to be 170 miles. Martinsville, 170 miles is like 400 laps or something like that. So we decided to shorten that down a little bit. I think if I
Good
can
lord,
find it,
400
we're running
laps at
200.
Martinsville.
Yeah, yeah. So we're going to run 250. I'm not quite sure if I remember what that is. 130 miles. So we're running 40 less miles at Martinsville, but like 50 more laps. So you'll get the idea. But and then we're same road courses are going to stay the same mileage as this season. So we're going to go 110 miles for road courses. So you'll see Coda 46 laps, Watkins Glen 45, and then Charlotte Roval 49. So that's how we're doing the mileage for this season. Again, this will be posted in the um, Discord server for you guys to look at later. Another thing before we get real into the nitty gritty of the schedule, there's $100 prize pool. We'll come up with a little bit more of how that's going to be divvied up at the end of the season. Once we get a little bit closer, we still have to discuss that more to figure that out. But $100 total to grab. Nobody's going to get all of that, probably, unless they enter 5 cars themselves. But good luck. But yes, so we're going to divvy that up depending on season finish. But we'll get to you guys more about that as we go on. So as you look at this, the schedule, your blue races are your regular season races. Your, I'm going to call it salmon races, are your exhibition races.
Red,
Um,
red would have worked,
white
but
is, yeah, whatever. I want to say salmon. It's fancy. Anyway, um, your white races aren't races; they're off weeks. Um, and then green, your first round of the playoffs. Gold, your second round or your championship round. So we're gonna open the season with the Clash. We're gonna run the Daytona Road Course, and most likely going to be running the duels as well. Stay tuned on how exactly we're going to do that. Whether or not it takes the place of the clash, we're not quite sure of yet. We'll get with you guys
It's just
more
going to
as it
depend
gets
on
closer.
card count and such.
Yeah,
So
it's going to depend on card count as well as the ease of which that we can do it. But yeah, so that'll be January 5th. So first week of the year, the Clash. You do not have to run that for points. Obviously, your exhibition races are optional. We'd like to see you guys out there doing it with us, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But I know that that's close to the new year, so people are traveling. I understand. But our first points race is obviously Daytona, January 12th, 100 laps. Feel free to interrupt me, guys, if you guys want to talk about any specific tracks. So that'll be January 12th, 100 laps at Daytona. Going straight to Auto Club on January 19th for 100 laps. And then here's where we have are probably one of our biggest changes in terms of in race. Starts at Phoenix. You'll notice the asterisk that is notating that the EOL will be in effect. That's an end of line. I don't want to say penalty, that's a strong word, but um, your top two in points for these races minus your road courses. So you see Dakota doesn't have the asterisk. Those will be your top two will go to the end of the line on the start. So we're going to do that for the middle portion of the regular season here. So Phoenix, and then we're going to go to 2008 Atlanta next after Phoenix. That will also have the OL. Then we'll go to Dakota, 46 laps there. Then Charlotte, and then our All-Star break of terms. We'll come up with North Wilkesboro. We're going to run that for our All Star race, exact format. Again, we'll get with you guys as we get closer to that race. However, we're going to tentatively run 125 laps. That might change if we have to do if we decide to do some weird wonky format. Then we're going to have our first off week there. So that's just March 2nd. We're going to have no race that week. Um, Spring break season gets a little bit warmer. Going to let people have that week off after the All Star race. And then we're going to head back into the season for Pocono, taking the place of an IMS, given that they're both 2.5 mile weird wonky ovals or triangle, rectangle, however you want to call it. Then we're going to go to Kentucky, bringing that track back, given that the Gen 6 cars race there. That should be a fun one. Then we're going back to Richmond and
for the
then Watkins Glen.
last EOL pressure is a privilege penalty.
Yep, yep. So Richmond, that'll be our last EOL. Then we've got for the last three races of the season, it's all out speed. Try to get as many playoff points as you can. We're not going to punish anybody that late in the regular season,
As we try to
especially if
determine
you're
a
just going
champion.
good. Yep, and so we'll see who gets the regular season curse next season. But we got Watkins Glen, and then we'll have another off week for Easter. Day after Easter, we're not going to race on that day. Then we move into Kansas and Talladega to end the season, so kind of mirroring a little bit the real life schedule with the super speedway to end it. Little wild card race, let somebody might be able to win their way into the playoffs there. And then we've got um, first round of the playoffs will go the same way as it did this year, with it no winning your into the championship round. Um, you obviously have your playoff points going in. Um, but you have to, just like this year, you'll have to race your way in all three races. You can't just win one and not show up the others. So we'll open our playoffs with Homestead, then we'll move over to the Roval, and then we'll wrap that round up with the cutoff race at Martinsville. Then our championship round and open up with Texas. And I am sorry to Griffin. I don't know how important of a holiday it is, but Victoria Day is on May 18th. We tried to avoid it, but with Memorial Day being the next week, it was stuck between a rock and a hard place. So ended up opting to have the off week on Memorial Day there. Um,
Back
and
to back would
then,
have been tough.
yeah, especially with the championship round right there and the playoffs. Don't want to have too many weekends off there. And then we'll wrap the season up coming back from that off week with Dover and Chicagoland wrapping our season up there. So yep, that is our season. The dates again, this will be posted in the chat. You guys have any thoughts now that I wrapped up my spiel?
Yes. Um, I know we spent a long time talking about fuel saving at Watkins Glen and moving away from it a little bit, but the good news for James is I know how much he loves to save fuel and how good he is at it. I think me and Cameron decided that Auto Club and Pocono we're gonna classify them with the rest of the intermediates, so you'll have the same fuel percentages at those tracks as you will at like a Charlotte, and so I think naturally we'll have two like definite fuel saving races, and so we will have that aspect in there a little bit, but just not as like every week.
Well, and then like we've talked about all week and all leading up to this is at the ovals you have yellows, and when you have cautions and you have incidents, that changes the layout of the race, the landscape, and you might get a natural fuel mileage race. You don't
Mhm.
have that at Watkins Glen or at any of the road courses. There's no full course yellows, so I mean it is what it is, right?
Yep.
So we can only do the best we can to prevent it from being an every week thing, but we do want it to be a part of it because it's realistic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, and to add on to that with the fuel mileage, to just kind of expand on that a little bit, the fuel limit will be set differently to your different types of tracks. So your super speedways are they might match up, but we're gonna do testing, and if they match up two different types of tracks, then that's just purely coincidental.
And that's
But
part of
we're
why we're
gonna,
doing the holiday dash too, is to run
yep, yep.
testing on that.
Yep. So we are going to be try your best to take those a little bit more seriously, especially with the money. I don't think anybody's not going to take those seriously, but we're trying to kind of gather more data, as James said, with those races. But yes, so your super speedways are all going to be the same limit. So your Daytona, Talladega will have the same fuel limit. Your intermediates, including Auto Club and Pocono, as Dakota said, will have the same fuel limit. And then your road courses separately from their short tracks are going to be their own fuel limits as well. So we're going to test them all separately. They're all going to be the same. So like your Kentucky and your Pocono, Atlanta, they're all going to have those tracks are going to have the same fuel limits. However, they're not like Kentucky and Coda and Daytona might have a different fuel limit if they're the same. Like I said, it's coincidental. But that's your schedule there. Any other thoughts here?
I like Talladega at the end. I like the wild card, last gasp, try and win your way
Yep.
in.
Yep, absolutely. That was a suggestion you made, and I really like that. And I really like having the multi-race championship round as much as I'm better in a one-race chase. I understand that it's probably better for everybody moving forward to have multiple shots at it.
I think it's most fair to
Absolutely.
determine a champion. We can only just hope that Dakota wins the regular season and gets bit by that regular season championship curse and misses
Yep.
the final three.
Yep.
It's a
And
real thing.
yep, with the playoffs too, we're still determining the playoff size or the playoff field size. That's really going to depend on how many cars we end up getting. Um, but we kind of have a rough draft of where we want to be. I can't remember it off the top of my head, or else I will let you guys know. But we'll let you know definitely before the season starts how many drivers are getting into the playoffs, as well as how many get into the championship round.
I think it's pretty much it's going to be a final four unless we have like a big number. Then we can do like a championship six, which I think that's the move. Like
Yeah, I think it'll depend. I think we did a percentage of how many cars that we had, but if it's eight, we'll do four. If it's 10, I think we said we do five, and then if it's 12, we do six or something like that. But with that might change. I don't want to lock us into that, so um, just know that we're thinking about it. That's the rough draft that we kind of have in our head. But we'll obviously at least before the season starts, we'll get to you guys on that.
other than that, yeah, just really looking forward to the old car on some of these tracks. Somewhat local Kentucky for me.
Yeah.
They haven't run there in 4 years, so it'll be fun to run there.
I've never run an official there or anything there, so I still have to buy the track. So it'll be interesting for me. I don't know how out to lunch I'm going to be. I'm assuming since it's an intermediate, I should be able to see.
Other than that,
It's different.
that's all I got. Yeah, it's like we've talked about, Texas being 1 and 2 is weird and flat. Well, at Kentucky it's 3 and 4 is weird and flat. So
Yep, absolutely.
But
Right. I think that's all I had. Make sure, I don't know if we have any last second questions, but you guys can shoot those in the chat if you want to, but we'll go ahead and wrap up unless you guys have anything else.
nope. I just, for me and Griffin, keep an eye on these Jays. They're up 3-1 right now in the 7th. Got a runner on, so let's go Jays.
Let's
Is
hope
it
for not
2-2 right?
another.
The series
What's up?
It's
is the
2-1.
series 2-2.
2-2. Yep.
Oh, it's 2-2. Okay, I didn't watch the one last night.
Yeah, 2-2 after the Dodgers won the 18 inning marathon and the Jays won 6-2 last night. So
I will say it attests to something. Maybe even if they don't win, if they can take a $57 billion roster to a game 7, I'd crown them the champion.
yeah, obnoxious. Go Jays. Let's just shut them up. I guess we were getting ready for the show, but I guess the Jays went yard on the first and third pitch of the game, so jumped out to an early lead. Shell shocked Snell right out of the gate, but that's all I got.
Okay.
Happy to get that second win as we all expected on the road course, and
Yep.
set myself up for a championship 4 appearance. Cam, good luck this week. I am rooting for Jackson again, selfishly, but if you do get it, you deserve it. You, as the regular season champ, you had a great year, so it'll be a pleasure to race you next week if you do make it.
Going for broke both the next 2 weeks. Well, not
All you
maybe not
can
next
do.
week, but but yep, we'll see. Congrats to James again on his win at Watkins Glen, Mr. Consistent. Um, yeah, that's all I have. Looking forward to the next couple weeks.
I think it'll be a good time. We've had a good season. Little ups and downs, but overall, I think we've had a really good season.
Been a lot of fun racing everybody, even with the smaller fields. We're all pretty close, and even the guys that might not be front runners every week still are learning every week if they need to, and they're getting faster. And I can see the improvement everybody's making. So looking forward to seeing all the improvement that'll be made from season 1 to Holiday Dash in season 2. And yep, it's been great. And looking forward to the next couple weeks.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in and shooting the shit with us tonight.
Yeah, we'll
See
see y'all
y'all.
Monday.
Peace.